Hello, here I am again at your service, Sir Rafi. Today I'm going to teach you how to create a bootable USB for installing Windows operating system. And there are three requirements that you will need to have a bootable USB. The first thing that you must have, of course, is your USB. And I will advise you to get an original or branded USB and do not settle for generic ones. The second requirement is your Rufus software. So this is a free software that you can download a copy from their website. Finally, the ISO image of the Windows operating system. Right now, I'm inside my Windows Explorer with my Windows 10 ISO image and the Rufus application. We go ahead and double-click the Rufus application. And this is the main window of Rufus. If your USB is already inserted, it will automatically recognize by the software and display information under the device drop-down list box. If not, you would notice that most of the options are grayed out, meaning they are not available and it requires you to insert your USB. So let's try to insert now the USB. And once the USB is recognized by your PC, all options are now available. So let's go ahead and examine some important options to work with. So under the device, of course, is your USB information. The next option is your boot selection. This is where you place the ISO image of your Windows operating system. Adjacent to it is the select button. You may click this button and locate the ISO image of your operating system you want to install. The next option is your partition scheme. There are two selections for this option, the MBR and the GPT. So the question is, how would you know which partition scheme to be selected? On the one hand, MBR, which stands for Master Boot Record, is actually an older concept. You can use this if you want to switch to legacy boot mode. It is used in the older PC whose chipsets are using the old BIOS. So the BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System. And this is an example of the old BIOS. But today, most modern PCs and laptops are now using UEFI, or the Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. It is the modern solution now, supporting larger hard drives, faster boot time, more security features. This is an example of the UEFI. UEFI works with GPT, or the GUID partition table, and this is a requirement for disks that are larger than 2 terabytes. So obviously, we're going to select GPT as our partition scheme. Finally, you have your file system. So the file system is the method used to store and retrieve data. It's basically an organizational system that helps your computer function. So the file systems manage space and storage, store file names, include directories for organization, and so on and so forth. So the options are FAT32 and NTFS. So again, the question is which one to choose. FAT32, or the File Allocation System 32, was introduced with Windows 95 release, where it used a 32-bit number system. So the file system worked with floppy disk drives, if you can still remember the good old days, and continue to evolve to keep up with technological advancement, but has many limitations until the NTFS comes into picture. NTFS, or the New Technology File System, is now the standard file system for modern Windows operating system. This new standard for file system avoids the limitation of the BIOS. So to make the story short, for modern PCs and laptops, we select GPT for partition scheme and NTFS for file system, and then we are now good to go. So if you are ready with your settings, you click the start button and Rufus will create a bootable drive for you in a short while. Once done, you have now your bootable USB drive for Windows installation. You should take note of the information after the process that says you must disable security boot. So failure to disable this option will result to not recognizing your USB by the system. The final step is to simply click the close button, and congratulations, you may now have your USB bootable drive ready to install Windows operating system. For any clarification, you may leave your message. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified of future informational videos. Thank you very much.